just gotta make sure that people like aren't right in our street.
You gotta kind of keep people out of the way. This is delayed, so it's good. We'll adjust once it comes. I have to hold it the whole time. It's kind of gross. But can I take your jacket and throw it here on top of our jackets? And then can I, change everywhere.
Wait, I don't think
And then can I ask that you move over a little bit that way to have less space so we can put the camera up here?
Ellie, do you have a camera phone on you that's good? An iPhone?
Yeah.
Take pictures? Of what?
And you spilled it.
Oh, okay. Well, a napkin would be appreciated. No. You can't just put this on the side. It's like, it's not bad.
Then, Laura, don't move right.
Oh, hey, whoa.
It's not good for anybody.
I did too.
Thank you.
I don't know what Dan wants me to take pictures of. This is what I took a picture of. I shouldn't tell you to take pictures of. That's not that. What? I don't know that we want you to do that. You should stick to sports, right? I mean, the camera will autofocus.
Is it embedded? Alright, can you take the link and just tweet it out on like
everything?
On everything, you have it too.
I got it.
No one's gonna use it if they don't know it exists.
Hey, tweet it from
I got it from Columbia Spec. I'll take that.
I'll get it from Spec Sports.
Yeah, just on your personal.
And I'll tell you.
Yeah, on Spectrum too.
Internet's going real slow. Hey,
Under there. Can we talk about how attractive I am?
No.
It's your nuts.
Oh, the internet is
I
second.
told you, man.
That's not good.
What? Internet sucks. Right now I got 3G. That's it.
You got what?
I got 3G. My Wi-Fi's not.
Yeah. Nico, when you get a chance, make sure the live stream is working on your computer as well. I really don't want to have this.
perpetrating genocide and American imperialism in the world from Columbia University marching SGA emails.
Featuring JCBT lost their charter. JSAE lost their charter. J. Crackdell died a martyr.
Welcomes itself back to spirited, saccharine, strangely antiseptic, sedulous, sententious, sesquipedalian, semicircular, semi-centennial, solipsistic, recently renovated, yet college library, where the shelves are long-lasting, but sadly not the men. But long overdue. As well as memorials for the ginger tree going up, the ginger girl and the Stax's pants going down, and an all-time, and the band now presents its 58th consecutive 69th semi-annual drive to lower the curve in organic chemistry, while the world's largest simultaneous Orgo. Everyone's enjoyment. C students, please turn off your electronic devices.
GS students, please turn off your hearing aids.
Please set your phones to vibrate.
Barnard students, please set your vibrators to phone. GS sought to help its students who, after years of dysfunction, finally managed to achieve an erection. A flagpole over Lewiston. Columbia College made the required reading of the symposium a little more interactive. It sees increased problem sets to distract students from the fact that they'll never get laid. But surprisingly sex-positive Barnard has been less supportive than an old bra. And the administration recently enacted a policy that placed strict limits on overnight guests in residence halls. Students accuse the administration of policing their sex lives, and media coverage spread faster than meningitis at Princeton. This policy, known as the 6 days of knowing, means that one can only bring in the same guest 6 times within a period of 30 days. God rested on the 7th day, why not Barnard girls? Honestly, we're not sure whether the policy is intended to promote celibacy or promiscuity. Though incidentally, both are practiced by leaders of the Catholic Church. And if you thought that joke came suddenly, try spending the night with however, and they were generous enough to put up a tent by the gates for couples. For couples who've run out of overnight signings. You can hear them drilling underneath all night long. And thanks to the love gravy that's filling the impending cement engraving, Barnard's 125th anniversary can truly be seminal. Regardless of the implications on our sex lives, the Columbia swiping situation is an absurd policy for a university that constantly aims to cultivate a sense of community. It's no wonder that Barnard and CC girls are always going at it like Gloria Steinem and Phyllis Schlafly. Yeah. This swiping system tears us apart and treats commuters, Barnard and GS students the same way as random people off the street. No offense to Kevin, who lives in front of Apple Tree. Or the Hallelujah guy in front of Kevin. Seriously, is it too much to ask that students from all the schools can just walk into each other's dorms to have a cup of coffee or cup some titties whenever both We in the band speak not and invite any of you over to the band suite anytime. In honor of easy access, the band now forms campus unity and plays Happy Together.
From their long slumber of apathy to get involved in a political campaign. Their noble cause is to protest the social injustice of John Jay Dining Hall's replacement of shitty pizza with shitty sushi. True inequality is happening not just on the streets of New York, but right here in our dining hall, because while the sushi and pizza may both be equally inedible, at least if you were a freshman too shy to pick up the free packets of lube at health services, those puddles of grease on the pizza will start Columbia wanted to make its students eat healthy. And to be honest, they really have done a good job of eradicating unhealthy food here at Columbia. if you don't count most of the other food at John Jay and at JJ's Place and the chicken fingers hidden inside every wrap at Ferris. But maybe the lack of pizza isn't the real injustice. For one thing, according to Student Worker Solidarity, Presbo decided to connect with the common man and institute a permanent fireside chat right in the John Jay kitchen. Pizza ovens were hot enough to make John Jay feel like a McBain double with the radiators stuck in the open position by years of spilled natty light. The director of dining claimed that even though there was no air conditioning or ventilation in the kitchen, Columbia could only improve the sweatshop conditions at the expense of students, which warms our hearts because that's never stopped them before. And Columbia Dining has a point. If there's one basic ethical principle we learn in CC, it's that the right of a philosopher king, that is an Ivy League student, to eat awful pizza trumps Wilma's right to not pass out from heat stroke and drown out. And let's not stop there. We have more demands! Hewitt is missing that special sweatshop pet. How dare they cook every single frozen burger individually? We don't have time for that. We have Goldman Sachs information sessions to Why can't they leave the patties sitting out for hours on end like at JJ's Place? We demand an end to the low-class froyo machines that make us choose between lactose-free and non-fat. We refuse to eat chicken wings with bones in them. We don't pay tens of thousands of dollars of our parents' money to have to eat around the bone.
Fuck those!
It's offensive that Student Worker Solidarity thinks that students have it better than the workers. I mean, we have friends who almost couldn't afford their $99 merino wool class year sweaters until they got that special discount from Walk. But, you know, let's be real. We in the band sympathize with the workers. We know what it's like to provide an important service and rarely get paid for it. In either money or sexual favors. And we also have to do our jobs in disgusting, sweaty conditions. With that in mind, we propose a new plan. Let's move the pizza ovens to Low Library. If our administration insists on causing as much suffering as the locked doors of Hamdell on a Sunday night, let's at least contain it to students' digestive tracts. In honor of muckraking our way out of apathy, the band now forms Upton Sinclair and plays Fuck You.
is so prestigious that schools from NYU to UPenn desperately try to gain admittance to this club of superb education and Ivy privilege. But when you look closer at the Ivy League, the question becomes, why? Consider Yale, for fuck's sake, where reports of a gunman on campus terrified students. Yes, we know that gun violence in New Haven isn't really news. So much as it is the city's local charm. We just thought we'd remind you that New Haven is a really shitty place to live. But the shittiness of New Haven took an all-time high area when someone filled the Yale washing machine with warm, chocolatey poo. But it's not really a surprise that a turd fiend, nay, a poopatrator, goes to Yale. They are obsessed with being number 2. Was the site of a particularly sticky situation this past semester. The Cornell School for Equestrian Happy Endings. Bought $200,000 of horse semen. Of course! This type of thing would never have happened at Dartmouth, where they savor every drop of animal. All in all, we in the band wish the best to Cornell. We understand that losing something so valuable can be really hard to swallow. And speaking of just dicking around, at Harvard, it's hard to get in, but even harder to get it in. According to a new survey revealing that more Harvard freshmen have cheated on their homework than have had sex. But at least one thing is easy at Harvard. For the past 20 years, the most common grade awarded has been an A! Occasionally an A+ when the professor was really cracking down. We in the band are disgusted by this state of affairs. It shouldn't be harder to get a B than it is to get the D. And speaking of easy grading, finally, in Princeton news, a shocking press release revealed that the institution finally decided to admit its first non-white student. His tan from summering in the French Riviera should fade in 2 to 3 weeks. trades in our safe and sound horse semen. And plays the only way you want it.
Columbia students have accomplished a lot over this past semester. A Columbia lab created lung tissue from stem cells. A Barnard student got to make out with a Nazi on live TV. One group on campus has done something that hasn't been accomplished in more than 20 years. We'd like to take a moment to congratulate the football team. In an ever-changing world, they were beacons of consistency. First they lost to Fordham, then they lost to Monmouth, then they lost to Princeton, Lehigh, Penn, Dartmouth, Yale, Harvard, Cornell, and Brown. And throughout it all, there wasn't a single time where we feared they might deviate. We feel the need to tell you this because we know you weren't there. In other words, they suck more than a Barnard girl in the period. This year's team was statistically the least competitive in Columbia's history. The only possible exception being the war-ravaged team of 1943. But at least the war provided that team with a legitimate excuse for losing, and to be fair, a slightly better reason for their distaste of Asians. And unlike this year's squad, at least some of the 1943 players got drafted. But don't blame the players. They'll tell you to blame head coach Pete Van Buren. And he'll tell you to blame athletic director M. Diane Murphy. And she'll tell you to blame the band! But in spite of all this fingering, it really hasn't been much of a climax. Hashtag turn it blue balls. Despite all of the buttons, blogs, op-eds, common sense, and even plain banners calling for their termination, neither Mandurian nor Murphy will be fired because Columbia just can't sack anyone. But all this outcry leaves us puzzled. With our last Ivy League championship win in 1961, our last winning season almost 20 years ago, what the fuck did you expect? In honor of living down to expectations, the band now forms the team and plays Wrecking Ball.
Even though she didn't exhibit any derogatory Asian stereotypes as a ching chong big bug and Meanwhile, profoundly ignorant theatergoers said, yellow face, butter makeup was white. And the band was just pissed that Top Girls wasn't about some kinky lesbian sex orgy. In other theater casting bullshit, the annual production of the Vagina Monologue is featuring all self-identified actors of color and took a lot of shit. And they took a lot of shit from unself-identified blog commenters. To protest the Vagina Monologue's decision, Columbia's other V show made the exact opposite casting choice. If identity-based casting is going to become a thing, we in the band say go for it. We'd like to see a production of self-identified guys and self-identified dogs. Or what about an all-neighborhood watch production of Annie called Annie Get Your Gun? Then, at the annual Greek Beats fundraiser, lip syncers from Lambda use the word in their performance of Jay-Z's Holy Grail. In response, competing dance group Onyx accused the band, and by band I mean frat, I'm used to people accusing the band, so accused the frat of being discriminatory and prejudiced. But we in the band wonder if using the word is that bad when it's a direct quote and used in a clearly non-racist context. Like this. Abraham Lincoln once said, "Free The thing is, there's a difference between being inappropriate and being racist. Inappropriate is when you jizz in a little kid's hair. Racist is when you only jizz in pure-blooded Aryan kids' hair. Ridiculous thing about this big skull fuck is that Lambda tried to cover up the word with the word neighbor. It's really just poisons that word. All of a sudden, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood responds a sinister and historically oppressive tone. Won't you be my all this N-word engagement distracted us from an even bigger problem. They had an anti-child abuse event called Greek Beats. And an after party called You Can't Stop the Beat. That is like having and white people were offended by black people in the vagina monologues, thus completing the great cycle of rage. There is something to be said for being constantly offended by the smallest of perceived transgressions, because it allows you to go through life without having to apply critical thinking to a single fucking thing you see. If you want to see some really racist shit, if you want to see some really racist shit, dress up like a Sikh professor and go for a walk in Harlow. That was racist shit! We don't like the guys who did that. In honor of getting people going, the band now forms something provocative and plays Neighbors in the citadel of hierarchical Gallic imperialism.
Although it might seem like less is going on in Columbia than in Paul Walker's brain scan, there are many problems. There are many problems plaguing this campus. One major problem here is sexual assault. Unfortunately, most of the evidence we have for this is anecdotal, because despite a petition with over 1,000 signatures demanding that the university release statistics on the issue, the administration is staying quieter than a football player in Lit Hub. We had to learn about this problem on our own campus from the New York Post. Right next to a headline reading, "Models twerk backstage at Victoria's Secret fashion show." Columbia is first to boast about a 6.324% acceptance rate and its inclusion of students from all over the world, but the administration refuses to speak up about sexual assault. We know about the blurred lines of ethnicity on campus, but what about Robin Thicke and blurred lines? They'll give us stats about the diversity of the student body, but not about the safety of students' bodies. And that is why Cresbo's hair is so big. It's full of secrets. I don't think you can say, but the fencing team is real great to get yourself out of this one. Although, maybe he is just confusing rapiers and, you know. We have heard more from Printed CU about the great deals at Strokos than we heard from our own university president about this critical issue of student safety. But luckily, our highly influential student leaders are getting involved. In fact, student body president Daphne Chen is... As she wrote in a guest column in Spec, Cresbo refuses to speak to the student body unless someone has donated a ridiculously large amount of money, or M. Diane Murphy has a death grip on his colon. Chen's article, which, frankly, was a refreshing break from the masturbatory dialogue on the Jewish white man's burden, was spot on. And we thank Chen for speaking out. Now that CCSC is on the case, things are bound to change really soon. In honor of our mute defender of speech, the band now forms Cresbo's locked lips and plays I Can't Hear You Talking, So You Can't Come In.
At Columbia, a radical is a cunt. Name of the group.
A bi-molecular SN2 reaction involves a backside attack. A bisexual SNM action involves a backside attack.
And finally, in chemistry,